Welcome to the In Season podcast, rated R for language.
None of us are doctors or neurologists. The things you're about to hear are opinions of people living with epilepsy or seizures. These are firsthand experiences. Epilepsy can cause speech problems, and the medications are hard to pronounce. So please bear with me.
Epilepsy can cause bad memory, so some stories will be repeated. I'm Pookie. Get ready. I'm having seizures every 2 years. 31-year-old female. I faint every 2 years since 2009. I just feel heavy and collapse for a couple of seconds. If I manage to lay down or get cold water on my head, I don't faint. I was thinking probably low BP, something like this. In my last episode last June, I went to the hospital. They did an EEG and told me I am having seizures. I have epilepsy, which shocked me. Doctor put me on medicine, which I had so many bad side effects. I stopped the medicine and haven't been back to the doctor yet. I don't want to use the medicine the rest of my life just because I faint every 2 years. I don't know what to do. Anyone? You're doing better than me. Every 2 years, you're doing pretty good. Just got to work on that. Eventually, not be 2 years. I see you talk to Kevin.
Better safe than sorry. Talk to a doctor. If you're having any issues, just look into anything, because if there's any residual problems, you still want to make sure your brain's okay. That's what I would say.
Yeah.
Because if you're still having them, you want to just check up on, just get a checkup on your brain.
Well, at least after that long, a doctor might take them seriously. If they go to the doctor saying, I haven't had seizures for a long time, so I need to start, weaning off, seeing it, I really need to take this much even. Doctor might actually take that seriously. That's the only reason anybody else that I know that weaned off their own medications did it that way, because a doctor would never agree to doing that. It's always either get off of this one and get on another one, or no. But no more clobazam here for 3 months now, and I feel a lot better.
Nice.
All right.
You feel better because of that B12? Shout out to Major's Maid.
You look really good.
Thank you very much, Sailor Mom. Same to you. And B12 has been a couple weeks. So either way, B12 is definitely helping with the energy too.
All right, at least I can agree there. So the comments of this, someone said, I can relate. I had my first one at 45 years old. That was about 10 years ago or so. After that, I had about 8 grand mal seizures in about 5 years. Haven't had any for 4+ years. Congratulations to you. And yes, the meds suck. I took generic for years, but it caused dangerously low sodium. So I was thirsty every few hours, every day, every year. Tired. I tried off and on meds, got to Briviac in winter and had bad side effects, couldn't sleep, tight leg muscles, went back to my old one, but tried it again on Briviac, but never taking half the doses. Is it a trial and error with meds and you have to listen to your body? My take on research I have done, seizure meds are heavy effing meds with potentially awful side effects. Have to chat if you want. Oh, happy to chat if you want. What's the worst part? No one has a clue what you're going through. And at some point, you become tired of complaining about it. I knew what you're going through. I can relate. The first grand mal really shook me up mentally. I was just in shock. Again, Happy to chat, even to have peace of mind talking to someone who knows what this hell is like all of a sudden to be diagnosed. I love people who are helpful. Someone else said, don't stop taking your meds without consulting your doctor. I cannot stress that enough. I took my meds all through my childhood, and my neurologist took me off of them when I was 18 to 19 in college and realized my seizures had transitioned to stress seizures. Further research after my daughter was diagnosed 8 years ago, when I realized our seizures are genetic from my dad's side of the family. She is currently on meds, and I am not. My last big seizure was in 2022 and 2016. Hospital trip. I've had epilepsy for 30 years. Congrats on that. I applaud everyone who's went longer than me, just 3 months. Has anyone ever tried any special diets with your medications? I've heard that keto is a common diet used, but it can also be often ineffective. Did keto help you?
For
Have you
epilepsy.
tried any other diets that are known to help seizures in control? If so, which ones, and did any help?
We did
I have
keto.
not.
We transitioned to keto to try that. And I think we did it for a couple months and it didn't make any difference in my seizures. But I'm medication resistant, so didn't really expect that it would, but I was willing to try. But no, I don't know any other diets except just eating lots of small meals. It's like snacking all day is better for me than just like, I don't get hungry, so just little snacks now and then. So that, I guess that kind of a diet, healthy small snacks throughout the day so that I don't, I don't know. Do you guys have any trouble with you when you don't eat? Seizures?
Yes,
Anything?
I do.
Nope. Been on a water diet for a while.
For me, it has to be more than 2 days.
Well, I mean, you always talk about being vitamin deficient and eat, like those B vitamins, and you can get those through eating a lot of fish, and I eat a lot of salmon and stuff like that. I eat that twice a week. Um, eat 2 of those a week. I eat a lot of greens and stuff like that. I uh, yeah, eat that, and I eat a lot of Brussels sprouts and leafy greens.
I want some salmon steak right now.
Yeah, it's always really good.
Those are two of my favorite things. We do eat those kinds of things. My husband he has still upped the protein, even though it's not a straight keto diet. He's really pushes
Me
the protein
neither.
on me. So
I wasn't a big guy on that until like after my liver started giving me problems, and it's like, okay, I gotta really take care of myself because I got epilepsy and everything's going to hell.
See, the thing about the keto diet is you really got to go all in with that, and it can be dangerous. You might want to just try um, a balanced diet. That's what maybe just some lean meats to get those vitamins that you all need. You know, like yeah, just stick with the lean meats and healthy vegetables. Yeah, like it sounds simple, but that's what I
But
do.
it is still better than cutting out dairy entirely.
Yeah, I've been cutting out dairy a lot.
Almond milk is really good though.
Well,
I like that oat milk, almond milk.
I drink all.
I drink I drink almond milk.
We used to have soy milk all the time, but Costco's too far away now. And I need more fat.
Anyone eat tofu here?
Oh yes, my husband did run a vegan deli in my hometown at the vitamin shop there. So he was vegan for a long time. And when my kids were little, we used to eat at least half our meals were vegetarian, tofu,
Yeah.
this stuff. And I lived with another vegetarian for 5 years before I married my husband. So oh yeah, I know tofu. Anybody
Yeah,
else?
Hey,
Oh,
like
Brandon.
I'll eat tofu. Yeah. Yeah.
I bet
I
Brandon
basically
does.
will eat anything. Yeah.
'Cause I know Brandon's vegetarian, so he probably eats a lot of tofu.
Yeah, he did. He showed me some fried tofu. It looked good. I
It
didn't know
is.
what it
It's
was.
really good.
Fried tofu. Tofu is great. It'll basically taste like whatever you cook it in.
Yeah.
It just wants to soak up whatever wonderful flavors you give it. Yeah, it's great.
Mark, you ready for bed?
Yeah. It's pretty late here too. So
Yeah. All you East Coasters look like you're falling asleep.
What are you
Yeah.
talking about? It's only 8 o'clock. I just got started.
Right.
yeah. Uh, is it you're on the San Francisco, right?
Yep. And I have
Is it
insomnia, so I'll be here much, much longer if you're ready to come back.
are they doing anything with the Grateful Dead over there?
The great what?
Grateful Dead. It's
The Dead,
yeah,
the
it's
Grateful Dead.
Grateful Dead week over there.
My
That's,
husband met Phil Lesh several times, and he met Garcia and one of the other members. Darn it, I can't, because he's been to a lot of Dead shows.
Weir, Bob
I
Weir,
took my
probably.
meds an hour ago, so if I
It was
pass
weird.
out, I pass out.
Yeah, Bob Weir.
It's all right. I understand what like Scalper does from your experiences personally. But yeah, go these comments here about the sleepy. Oh no, about the diets. Someone here says, "Hi there. So my son, 8 years old, was diagnosed in April after having his very first seizure in March with frontal lobe epilepsy. I understand people are not always all the same. However, this was one of the first things we started researching when he was diagnosed, and truly think it's always contributing to the success we are seeing with his meds. All that said to this is he is following a keto-ish diet. We have eliminated all the unnecessary carbs. We also have followed a fairly strict no sugar or half the daily sugar intake that is recommended for kids his age. As we were told, a low sugar diet was also better for his doctor. Also, another interesting tidbit she told us is that fasting can also be beneficial for people with epilepsy. Obviously, not for kids, but knowing that we make sure dinner snacks are always available, done like 6 to 8. So his body has at least 2 hours awake time to digest before sleeping. Can I
don't
for
know
sure
if
say
fasting is good for us because sometimes we don't get those cues.
yeah, I fast all the time, but that's different. So it says dinner is done by 7 or 8, so his body is at least 2 hours awake just to digest before sleeping. Can I for sure say it's his diet would work? No, but I do know what his medication dosage combined with the schedule, routine, and diet has led us 2 months without any seizures. But please, please, please speak to your doctor to see if they think this is beneficial for you. I can only relay and share the information we have gotten in regards to our son's case. And I am no medical professional. No has 6 O's. Someone else said keto is the only thing that helps my depression. I will be keto for life if the only way I don't get fat also. Everyone's so different. I did pure keto for about 8 months. I kept having seizures. Absolutely works for some. I just wasn't one of them. Talk to your neuro, see if he thinks it'd be a good thing to test out. It's also a pretty rigid diet, but imagine you already know that, and it's doable. I love mashed potatoes, and cauliflower mash ended up being a welcome substitute. Cauliflower mash. Interesting. Someone also said I tried intermittent fasting, but it didn't do much for me. Can't bring myself to try keto. Cost benefit, not good. Not a good ROI for me. Not a good ROI for me as someone who loves cookies. Yeah, I love cookies too. How am I going to deal with my epilepsy? Someone help. I don't know what to do. I think I said that pretty well. It sounded like I was acting. Help me. I don't know what I'm supposed to do. That was the question. How am I supposed to deal with focal aware seizures? Help me. I don't know what to do. Shout out to Nature's Maid. I take B12 for the focals and pretty much working for the past 3 months. If you can't see that, it's maybe because the light's right there. There you go. Shout out to Nature's Maid. Anyhow, yeah, focals are pretty gone for me. But maybe that's a me thing. Check it out. Someone else told me it works for them. Not doesn't work for you. Just everybody's different. But everybody I've told about it, they said it worked the same. More energy, less focals. I have more energy, no focals, and too much energy at times. I don't like that I'm not getting as much sleep as I used to. I like sleeping. And for some reason, I can wake up at 7. I'm not able to go back to sleep. I don't like that. I like waking up at 10 to take my pills and then stay up. So yeah, this new no sleep thing is new to me. Also being that I have insomnia, so still don't like to sleep, but yeah. Sometimes sleeping is good for me.
It's tough talking to the doctors because the doctors aren't really necessarily nutritionists and they don't know a lot about food, and it's that's the worst thing to talk to them about sometimes. Yeah.
Anybody still having focals here? Oh, sorry, Kevin. Go ahead.
Oh no, I thought we were talking about food or nutrition still, but no, go on with the vocals.
We can talk about food if you want to. I am kind of hungry. I got some water.
No, I really don't know anything about vocals, so that's not my area of specialty.
I'm actually really hungry, so I'm gonna take a swig of this water.
All right, well, you go ahead and fix yourself a sandwich. I would
I
say after that
only
last
have
post, I would
vocals.
tell him take notes.
That swig just
What you got, Rika?
Oh, I said I only have focals, but I can't be any help because I missed the question.
It says, how TF am I supposed to deal with these focal seizures? I don't know what to do.
I'm sorry, but I missed what his symptoms
What do
were
they
of the
mean
focal
deal
awares.
with?
That's all it says. How TF
I guess, like,
are you
we
supposed
need
to
more
deal with these?
context.
Yeah, I need to know what are the focals? What does he or she feel?
I'm assuming this person is new to this, and that's all
Okay.
it says is how TF are you supposed to deal with these focal aware seizures? What am I to do? I need help. Or, yeah, I'm paraphrasing a little bit, but yeah.
Well, I
don't
feel
know
the
what to
frustration
do.
out of that. I feel the frustration out of that person. I mean, I didn't do anything when I was having mine. Unfortunately, I did nothing. So I don't have any help. I ignored them. I didn't even go see a neurologist. I went to my primary care physician
That's what I
and
did.
said, and I said, "Do you know what these are?" Because I couldn't get words out of my mouth. I said, "Do you think this is perimenopause?" And she said, "No, I don't think so." And I said, "Okay." And I just went on with my life. And then I had a, uh, uh, what do you call it when you pass out and
Blackout?
shake? Uh,
Chronic
Oh, seizure.
tonic clonic. I call it a floppy
Oh,
fish.
okay.
floppy
Then I
fish.
had a tonic clonic and was taken to the hospital in an
Floppy
ambulance.
fish. Floppy fish. I like that
I
name
call it a
better.
floppy fish. I had a floppy fish. And so then my focal aware seizures continued, but I didn't know they were seizures. I called them brain glitches to everyone. And when I told the neurologist about it, she was like, okay. And then she went back to it, but she didn't really take them seriously. She just like wrote it down in the chart, brain glitches. And it wasn't until I got my really good neurologist that I have now that has a similar last name to me. But it wasn't until I got him that he said, "Oh, those are focal aware seizures and they come from the temporal lobe." And they were three different kinds. So I didn't do anything because I didn't know what it was. I would sit there here in my chair and witness my brain malfunction. So that's what happened to me. I didn't do anything. Now looking back, I real like I'm like, why didn't I do anything? That's really scary. But I had so much else going on in my life that I was like, oh, okay, and I just ignored it. So that's what I did. Nothing.
Yeah, you called them brain glitches, and I called them precursors. So for like 10 years, I was having these and I wasn't explaining it to my doctor. And when I did explain it to him, it's because I found out here that it's actually a seizure and instead of a precursor. And then when I told him, he was already on his way out the door to retiring in a few days.
Did
So,
you tell did you tell friends or family?
about what, the precursors?
Yeah.
No, I just decided let's go lay down because this means I might have a seizure. And come to find out, I was actually having a seizure. And like I said,
Whoa.
it's been happening for 10 years. And I told my doctor, my neurologist, and he was quite disappointed. But with his tone, I was just kind of like, you're retiring, so why are you yelling at me? And it went in one ear and out the other.
Whoa.
I think I did have those. I did have a lot of those blame. It's late for me. Sorry. Brain glitches. Is it like a twerk in your brain? Like it turns off for like a split second. Like
Yeah.
it's like a shock in your brain really quick. I don't
Yeah.
know. It's really hard to describe. I did have
Mhm.
Like your
I
brain flickers.
all the time. Yeah.
I swear, I tell my three different kinds?
Go
Sure. Go
ahead.
ahead.
So I would get a feeling at first, like a deja vu feeling, and then I would get a stomach drop, like I'm going over a roller coaster. And then it was one of three things. Either like words that I was reading in English would all of a sudden seem foreign, and I'd be like,
Oh,
"What?
I
That's
did that.
weird." Or I'm like watching TV and the English words I'm listening to all of a sudden sound foreign, and I'm like, "Oh." Or I can't get words out of my mouth. It was one of three things. And it happened one time in front of a client. I was talking with someone on Zoom and all of a sudden I just couldn't talk. So I just stopped talking and looked at her on Zoom and she didn't talk. It was very awkward for like 30 seconds, like this. And afterwards, I said, she's like younger than me. And I was like, I think I'm going through perimenopause. And she's like, she did not contact me again. I don't blame her. Like, you do not want to hire a CPA who, for like 30 seconds, just sits there looking at you. So I don't blame her. That was really funny to me. Okay. And then one time I'm driving a car with my friend and the same thing happens. I can't talk to her and she's like talking to me and I can't answer her questions. And then I get this really big hot flash all over my body. And then and then it goes away and I can have a conversation with her and she's like, "Was it that one of those things?" And I said, "Yep, that was one of those things." And she's like, "Are you okay to drive?" I'm like, "Yeah, I've been okay to drive the whole time." And I keep driving. So my friends and family all knew about this. And then after that one, I had like my floppy fish seizure like a week later. So we are both so lucky I didn't have the floppy fish in the car. So anyways, thank you for listening.
I don't know.
Thank you for
I
laughing about it.
the confusion because I I get those leading up to the grand malls. Like I get more and more confused, and so I start to shut down my body. That's what I get or used to get. But yeah,
Yeah.
that
I had
sounds familiar to
I
me.
those feeling like those like one of them is called aphasia. I think that's where you can't talk, and those other things where I can't read and can't understand people talking, like brain glitches. That's what I call them, brain glitches. Like
Yeah,
brain glitches. Though those
I get the
stupid things.
aphasia often.
Yeah, man,
My
those things were happening
son,
twice a week for
oh,
many, many months. Oh my God, all the time. And like
scary.
my friends knew it, my mom knew it. Like I'd be on FaceTime with her and I'd just stop talking. She would just sit there and be like, "Okay, I'll just wait." And so like no one told me to go to the doctor. Like
I don't. That's terrible.
well, none of us knew it was happening. And
Right?
like, so,
Well,
I'm sorry, but like
I know. I'm not saying it's terrible, your family or anything. I'm just
no,
like
like
that's so sad. Like,
I'm
oh
fascinated by all of this now. Looking back, I had all these other like all these other things going on. Like my dad's getting cancer, and like I can't go. It was a really horrible year, and I'm also like having this stuff dripping out of my nose, the CSF leak, like all these other things, horrible. And so this is just like this little teeny part of it.
no. Right. So it's hard to figure out where the hell is this coming from and why.
Yeah,
And
and
yeah,
none of them are connected. The CSF leak and the epilepsy are not connected.
wild, wild.
So,
Yeah.
anyways, those to me are brain glitches, but they're temporal lobe seizures. This person was questioning focal aware seizures.
Mm-hmm.
We're talking about focal aware seizures. That's
Mm-hmm.
how I experienced them.
Right.
And I told my friends and my family, and we would all watch it happen. And I didn't do anything about it.
Yeah.
That was my answer to the question.
I've had some very similar to that too. My husband was, I mean, I knew that like when I was coming out of it, I would be burning hot and I'd be like, God, why am I so hot?
All over your body?
Oh, yes. And just sometimes I'm soaking wet too. And
Mine lasted like 30, 45 seconds, and then they'd go away and I'd feel normal again.
mine
Yeah.
they can happen during, before, after, they can last for a while, but usually if it's a big one, I'll be so hot that I'll actually wake my husband up, and if he touches my skin, he'll be like, I can't touch you. You're so hot. And I'm like, okay, just give me some meds or something then, because I don't know. I just feel awful. Yeah,
You know
but the
what's
stomach
odd?
drop thing, had that before. Not fun.
You know what's odd?
What's that?
With my wife, she used to say I was really like I would give off so much heat.
It can be an aura or it can be part of the seizure, which obviously we all know auras technically are part of seizures now. But yeah, like that's, I believe it, Angel, because I don't know where the heck it's coming from or where it has come from, but it certainly is a thing with me. The heat. And yeah.
It's always better to get it's always good to get a better understanding of this and on that note, I gotta get out of here because it's like 11:15 here.
Yeah, you need your sleep, Kevin.
Yeah, and
needs
food
sleep?
too because I haven't eaten yet. So I'll see you Friday, I hope, and I'll see everyone
We'll
later.
stuff
All
you
right,
in.
Hey, you
Bye.
guys. Bye,
it's a
Kevin.
good meeting.
I'm here other days. Too late now.
Amadeus. Amadeus.
He can always come back for insomnia if he can't sleep, right?
I'm gonna fall asleep to Insomniac.
Hey, people are welcome to try back anytime.
You gonna
Yeah,
stay
I'm
up
gonna
for
sneak.
Insomniacs tonight?
I'm gonna sneak the computer upstairs if I'm still awake.
Yeah, I figured we don't switch it to Insomniacs until midnight because that would just make it like 9 over there, but I don't mind going off topic a little earlier tonight.
All
I
right.
usually try to go in between 9:30 and 10. Then you're
We'll stick to your
officially have
schedule.
insomnia if you're up at 1 o'clock over there. You know what I mean? They're up right now just playing video games and watching movies. You don't have insomnia. It's
You
almost
watching
1 o'clock.
Muppets?
Movies.
Huh?
Movies.
Are you watching Muppets?
No, afraid not.
Oh, I was about to say, which one's your favorite Muppet?
I can't even remember.
Animal.
Animal's my
Yeah.
favorite.
Me too.
I have an
the
animal
drummer.
T-shirt still.
Me too. When my daughter was born, I was wearing an animal T-shirt.
I mean, how could we all not love Animal?
Exactly.
If you think Muppets are creepy.
What?
Sorry, I lumped that right in with Barney and Teletubbies and all that. Yeah.
Some of the responses to the how am I supposed to deal with seizures, focal aware seizures? One was live the living dream. I know they feel crazy. What does that even mean?
I have no idea.
Another one says, I mean, I guess my answer depends on what on what you mean by deal with them. Like I kind of just let them happen. If my emergency med doesn't work, which usually they do, and sleep a ton after. Someone else said deep breaths, try not to follow the deja vu and wait for them to pass. Use a clobazam as a rescue med because I get long pre-drones or prodromes, so I can predict when mine will hit. So I will take one of those and usually works for around 20 minutes or so. People who have never experienced focal seizures don't seem to able to comprehend how awful they are and feel. The drop in your stomach and the sudden terror and the racing heart and sweating, the feeling of feeling everything and anyone at one time, anyone says or does just compounds the deja vu. They're horrible. That sounded like a lot.
Grateful to have them unaware now.
Someone
I
else
used to
said,
think just losing time was annoying.
Yeah,
That was an
missing time is
excellent
annoying, especially when I don't know how much times I missed.
Or
Were you
somebody
saying something,
tells
Raven?
you.
Oh, sorry. I said it was an excellent description.
Another one says, I sit it out and hope they don't progress into a TC. Me too. I thought they were precursors, so I just sit it out. Another one, I am completely unaware that they are going on and out of control of what I'm doing with no aura whatsoever. I've gone so far as to be on the phone and driving in a car at the same time while going through one. They always generalize. Somebody else here mentioned benzos, and I'm the same. If I don't get on Ativan drip, I'm going down. The driving on the phone and all that, that's not much to brag about, but pray for the people around you. Telling employers of your epilepsy. Do you tell employers of your epilepsy in your interviews? You're going to that you have epilepsy specifically if they ask. I always feel like I'm not going to get the job because people hear that word and don't want to risk the liability. So I tell them, but sometimes I feel like it's unnecessary. And if I haven't had a seizure in over a year, I feel like I'm cured, even though I'm not. and you can never really be cured. I never told the employer until afterwards. Some I didn't point it out until a seizure. But you should. I'm older now. I think you should definitely let your job know. I mean, not get the job and then let them know, so they can accommodate you through that. But yeah, don't start off. I have epilepsy. What do I sign? Usually doesn't work for me. Someone else said, nope. Lawyers have told me never tell them until after you're hired, if you have to. Someone else said, you are not legally obligated. I was once having a great interview, found a way to ease my condition into the conversation, reassure them that I was medicated and all that jazz, didn't get hired. Went back 2 weeks later and 3 people in the room instead of 2, didn't mention my epilepsy, hired on the spot. Last time I had a seizure in my late teens. I'm 26 now, but I definitely would let any future employers know that I have a history of epilepsy. Better to be safe than sorry, and they'd always at least know I have a history of seizures should I ever have one at work. Yeah, that's a good one. Tell them. Is every tongue bite a seizure? Normally, when I have a seizure, I bite the side of my tongue and bite the side of my tongue severely, pee, injure myself, etc. And I'm on a medication that has finally kept me stable. But lately, I wake up with bites at the top of my mouth and the top of my tongue. It's tiny, like the type you get when you accidentally injure yourself when chewing food. There's nothing else to indicate a seizure, so I'm not sure if it's a seizure still. Can you help me out? I usually take it as when I wake up with a chewed up tongue, I had something going on in my sleep. Something. There's no other reason for that. So I'm not chewing in my sleep. So obviously, yeah. Chewed up tongue is a sign. Anyone else get a chewed up tongue and take it not as a sign? Oh yeah, and the part where tongue severely, pee and injury, those are definitely signs.
If I had my tongue is chewed up, I had a bad one, and for some reason somebody didn't wake up. Yeah, I don't know anybody else.
Yeah, someone also said, with all these years of research I've done, I've never found a single shred that tells me otherwise. Yeah, but it's better than sawing off a chunk, literally. It is. Advice for being home alone. Hi, I currently have a diagnosis of PNES, but because of my symptoms, I'm on the wait list for the EMU stay in 5 weeks. I was sent to a psych ward, but they treated me absolutely horrible, accusing me of faking, just being stressed, actually physically hurting me to prove I was conscious. I wasn't. I'm being discharged in an hour, and I just need to know what I'm going to do when I get home alone. I do have PNES. Some seizures are fully aware despite being tonic-clonic, so those are definitely PNES. However, I had seizures where I'm completely gone, unreasonable, froth at the mouth, and my O2 sats drop in the 80s. Yesterday, a nurse told me it went exactly 80 when they called the ambulance. I have regular seizures daily to every few days, and I don't know in advance. It's going to be PNES or not. I never have more than 2 seizures in a day, but the epileptic looking ones do cluster at times. I'm wondering how to deal with it when I'm home alone. I have no rescue med or any medication whatsoever, really, and I'm horribly terrified that if I call an ambulance every time, by the 3rd time, they'll just hang up on me. What do I do? How can I keep myself safe, alive for 5 weeks? Do you have any advice? Alive for 5 weeks? I live day by day. Jocelyn, you can answer this one. You're home alone a lot.
I'm sorry, but I zoned out.
Um,
Can you
this
summarize it
person,
really quick for me?
advice for being home alone with no rescue med.
With no rescue med? I mean, this is tough. I mean, where do they have neighbors, family?
Didn't say.
They didn't say. You know, I tried getting a smartwatch to like have it call a friend if I fell over, you know, if I had a seizure. And I got one of the Apple Watches and I couldn't get it to work. And it, I know, I tested it. Like, I hear that other people get it to work, but it kept calling 911 when I was sleeping. And
Uh,
I know. And so that was frustrating. The 911 people were really friendly. They said it happens a lot. So, they would call me back. They'd call my phone and be like, "Are you sure you meant to call 911?" And I'd say, "No, it was my Apple Watch." And they said, "Yeah, it happens all the time." So I gave that up. Um, I still like the smartwatch, so it's fine. But so, I'm stupid with technology, so you know, you could get a smart like it's not necessarily affordable for everyone, but you know, you could try getting a smartwatch to call a neighbor or a friend in case you have a seizure. So that's what I tried doing. I was pretty nervous about that. And, what else? I have, I'm very fortunate in that I'm very close with my neighbors. They go and get my prescriptions once a month when they're in, because I'm not allowed to drive until December 7th. Um, we can, you know, like, if you live in a city, we can take the bus. Um, yeah, it's really hard when you're not allowed to drive, I have to say. I rely on my friends and my neighbors a lot. I really do. I don't have my family is they live out of state, so I don't have them. They wish they could be here, but they can't right now. So I rely on my neighbors and friends a lot.
um, yeah. I try to rely on a few people around. It has its times. But I got one here. It says, "How much do you eat? How much does what you eat affect your seizures?" The first comment says, "100% affects me. I've had doctors, not neuros, reject the idea of it, but they have zero idea, and I'm the one living with it." Uh, how does what I eat affect my seizures? Um, I don't know. They told me water was good for me. So working with that. You guys have any diets that you think you should not have?
I just need to eat more. I have a problem with not eating enough, and I lost 20 odd pounds since I got epilepsy. And I only weighed like 125 pounds to begin with, so it's not very healthy, but you know, it's hard to eat when you don't want to.
Yeah, the height to weight ratio. Yeah, you said you're 125 pounds.
I am 102 pounds now. I was 125 pounds and 5'3", and I lifted 50-pound buckets of ice cream all day long. I mean, all weight all day. I would work 10-hour shifts and outwork all the little teenagers and 20 somethings that were running around me. And I still have, I can still do it. You can still see the muscle go, but I had really big muscles and everything. I was very, very fit. And then I got sick. And just all of the weight just dropped off because of all the different medications. It's just not, when you're going through them, everybody talks about it, right? sleeping all the time and you're trying to make, is this medication going to work? And you're having more seizures. Y'all know what I'm talking about. It's just when it's really, really intense, it's really intense and you lose weight. Don't do that, everybody. It's not good.
Yeah. Also, Sia's here.
Yes.
And Jocelyn, you said something earlier that I was like, maybe Sia could help you with that. But she's here and I don't know when she got here. I wasn't looking. So, hey Sia, how you doing?
She got here 5 minutes ago.
I haven't been here for very long, but I'm doing okay, just resting still.
Jocelyn has the Apple Watch and she said it's not working for her.
I did ask in chat what series she had.
I know. I have to look up how to find that out. I'm looking. This is how technology challenged I am. So
No, it's all good.
I appreciate. As soon as I figure this out, I'll tell you.
No worries. Take your time.
Thank you.
Of course.
But what is it called? Sia, how much does what you eat affect your seizures, if any?
I would say, I thought for a while that the keto diet was helping. But obviously I'm still not doing the greatest, and I literally I think it was maybe a week and a half ago went back on the diet. And I started to feel pretty weak, but I do have the med increases to deal with now too. So I don't know how much that is causing me to feel worse right now. But I would say that it is still helpful to have less sugar intake, less caffeine, and less carbs. Because I think Court has talked about this before. Helping the vagus nerve system helps, your brain. It's all connected. So it's still very helpful.
So to that question, also someone said I unintentionally ate keto for a few days because I'm on a weight loss journey, and I noticed it helped me a lot. Same with intermittent fasting for 18 to 24 hours a day. Someone said, admittedly, I eat like shit and I haven't had a seizure since March 2024. It depends on the person, I guess. Yes. Someone said if I eat a lot of carbs, I will 100% have a seizure, so it affects me massively. I have to eat before I take my meds or I will get terrible stomach aches. I don't for some reason.
I used to throw them up within a few minutes, but my stomach's a little more used to it now, I think. But I still try to eat right before, which means I'm going to have to go eat now.
Did drinking, more than a bottle of water or something, do the same thing for you? It cause the nausea if you drink too much, just like if you eat too much?
No. Well, that's just me.
What about Cinema?
So I always have a big, a giant bottle of water, a cup of water with me all the time. Because, they took away my coffee, and all the caffeine, and all the sugar stuff. So a lot of water. But if I drink a lot of water and don't have any solid food on my stomach, and then I take the pills, because I also take Epidiolex, which is the liquid cannabis that's made by the pharmacy, and I think it has some kind of alcohol base or something, and when it hits my stomach without something solid with the pills. I think the combination of the two just sets me off.
Doesn't go. Yeah.
It doesn't go well. Yeah. It's pretty sad too. The few times it's happened, I've had to like call the pharmacy, be like, I lost my meds. I need a couple extra doses. And I know it's stupid, but please.
Don't ask me to elaborate.
Yeah, just don't. Yeah.
Boom. So I got something here, you guys. So it says, I need some support. Lost my partner to epilepsy. Every other time he has had a seizure, I've been there to call for help and catch him or move him. I slept in later that day and I found him already gone in the bathroom. The guilt and pain is unbearable. Our 4-year anniversary is just a few days away, and I loved him so much. I can't stop tearing myself apart thinking about how I could have saved him. He was my whole world, and my heart breaks over and over again. I'm really sorry to hear that.
I'm so sorry. That's
Yeah.
awful. Really.
Yeah.
It isn't your fault. It could have happened any time. It could have happened when you were in bed with him and you might not have woke up. I've stopped breathing a bunch of times in bed with my husband, and thankfully he has mostly woken up. But yeah, I mean, it's not your fault. I'm sure you feel like it is, but it's not. It can happen anytime to any one of us, unfortunately. And I don't know what else to say except you should probably get some counseling. Because
Right, I don't know what else to say either. That's rough.
just don't beat yourself up about it anymore. And you definitely need to get some grief counseling for sure. Yeah. I mean, I think we're all feeling your loss, and it's not even our loss, but
Yeah, it sucks also that her anniversary is in a few days, she said.
Yeah, I mean,
They're alone now.
it's just,
The timing.
so horrible. I can't imagine. But
Start with don't blame yourself.
that's what I'm saying. Don't blame yourself. It was not your fault. And even if you had been there, that doesn't mean you could have done anything. Sometimes it happens. It's too late. And that's all I have. And I'm really, 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 really sorry. But definitely.
The first comment says, holding yourself responsible for always being in the right place at the right time to save someone's life is super unfair to you. He likely lived much longer and much happier with you in his life. Your absence didn't end his life. The disease did. I am sorry for your loss. I hope one day you find peace. And the writer said, thank you. This really means a lot. I hadn't thought about that all this way. It still really, really hurts, but this helped. He was only 31 and the love of my life. Oh, that's even worse. He was so young. The next comment says, I'm so sorry. This made me cry. It's very scary for us. My dad's best friend daughter, who would have been the same age as me, died in the shower on her honeymoon. This was back when we were in our 20s. Same thing, epilepsy, and we both got diagnosed with the petit mal around the same time. Somehow she went to a full-blown grand mal on her honeymoon. I didn't get my first grand mal until I was older. Someone else says, I don't know a lot, but I know 2 things. You love and were a blessing to your partner, and his passing was not because of anything you did. Please don't put this on yourself. You don't have any power to prevent it. That sucks. So, Now there's one that says physical limitations in college applications. I'm 25 years old and I have complex epilepsy. I was diagnosed with childhood absences as a kid and got all that cleared at 18. At 19, seizures came back with a vengeance as a carer at the time, and over the last few years, unable to work. Not necessarily a bad thing, as I started realizing everything I'd done was for everyone else. I decided to apply for college, but it's quite far away, the only one available for my course. I'm currently in a state of being terrified. I do get in terrified of being terrified. I do get in and terrified, and I don't. I don't want to be defined by my seizures anymore. I haven't been in education since I was younger teen, so going back with as many obstacles as there are completely new scary experience. Epilepsy stole my mind, mobility, memory. For years, the physical limitations were insane, and everyone around me is telling me I'm wrong to apply, that I should just wait. The way I see it, it's been 5 to 6 years, and this could be my life. What if I wait and instead lose the opportunities? Anyways, I know I won't be only one who's pushing themselves of their future. Any advice though? Your own experiences would be appreciated. It sounds like me. My family didn't want me to work. Like, I love working. Like, I would love to be at work right now if I could. But yeah, I turned in my resignation letter, and I didn't even know it was a resignation letter until I was walking in the door. Yeah, I was working, then I had a seizure, and then my stepmom decided you shouldn't be working, and she gave me an envelope, and she's like, "Give this to your boss." And I didn't read it till I was putting everything in my locker. I was like, "This is a resignation letter. What is going on?" And yeah, he was like, "You leaving?" And I was like, "I guess so. My stepmom gave me this to give to you." So I haven't worked since. I didn't give up on my own. I stayed every job after every seizure. It was always family. You should leave. You should leave. Stop this, stop that, and so on. So yeah, college applications, haven't did that at all lately. Did it one time, it worked, and been here ever since.
It was hard not to be resentful about something like that, though, because when it came to my family, they were saying, we won't drive you anymore. And catching the bus around here to get to those places wasn't always an option. It just didn't run that far. So that's pretty much the only reason I ended up resigning from mine, is because I literally had to.
Yeah, so learning new things. So going back to school right now wouldn't be exactly the best idea for me, because retaining info has been a big deal for me. I can't remember anything new, possibly, unless I write everything on a sticky note, basically. Yeah, so at the time, I think like trying to learn things, I would literally need some one-on-one teaching, because maybe sitting in a class situation is not going to work for me. But yeah, I guess I'm not saying don't go to college or don't fill out the applications, but personal experiences they ask for. Anybody have any physical limitations? That's what this is. Personally, no. No. My boyfriend is having absent seizures. Hi guys, bit of a backstory here. I'm in a LDR with this guy. What is that? I need to know before we
Long
go.
distance.
Oh, okay. Bit of a backstory. I'm in an LDR with this guy who has epilepsy. Although he hasn't had a full-on seizure, I'm sorry, I know all about seizures and are real and dangerous. I just don't know how else to describe it. The seizure was shaking and other symptoms. For a few months now, and before that, a few years, he does seem to have absent seizures, like a lot. We FaceTime a lot, and he will regularly, mid-sentence, He would regularly be mid-sentence and then for a few seconds, 3 to 10 usually, stare off into space and stop talking. He then often either resumes a conversation like nothing happened or forgets what we were talking about. Before I knew what it was, I just thought it was the weed he had smoked. I made a joke and he seemed unaware of it, so I let it go. Now it keeps happening, and much more in the mornings. I've done some research and believe them to be absent seizures, very short ones, but very frequent. We called the hour. We called an hour the other night, and he had one every few minutes. I'm worried about him and want to bring it to his attention, but honestly, don't know how to bring it up or how worried I should be. Please let me know what you guys think. I think you should be more worried that, I don't know, I think you should ask and let him know. Then be worried if he doesn't want to talk about it. Ladies?
Definitely bring it up.
Yeah, bring it up instantly.
Oh, think about how the conversation might go. I mean, prepare the reasons that you have for being concerned and bringing it up so that he doesn't, or maybe is less likely to just shut it down if he can see why you're actually concerned and why this conversation is important.
Yeah.
You heard that one, Lupa?
I'm sorry, what was that one?
Boyfriend having absent seizures. She didn't know how to tell him that he's having absent seizures, basically on FaceTime over and over and over again. She doesn't know how to have the conversation.
Just say, I think you're having absent, bless you. I think you're having absent seizures. I think you're having sneezers.
Okay, yeah. It says, I don't know how to bring it up, but should I be worried?
If you're worried, just bring it up. I mean, it'd be more worried not saying nothing.
Yeah. Like, bro, you've been passing out for a while, having these absent seizures. You should go see a doctor. But yeah, LDR, I keep learning all these new terms. Someone in the
And that
comments
one, she
said,
might want to record it. Yeah, she could record that.
oh yeah, because you can screen record on iPhone. One of the comments tell him exactly what you just wrote here. Is it anything to be concerned about? And someone said, just be upfront with him. My brother does the same thing, and he genuinely has no idea of it. Even after we tell him, he has zero recollection of it. Someone said, oh, okay, so it's not really a sensitive topic to bring up. Then someone else responded to that. I have absences, part of my other types of seizures, and I have no idea they're happening, to be honest. I think someone letting me know how often would help me inform my treatment, and it's nice to know someone's actually got your back. I love that answer.
And definitely don't initiate a conversation like that to make him think that there's something wrong with him. Just keep it like all about the support.
Tenancy terminated because of my epilepsy. Hi, I'm an epileptic music university student in the UK, and I have lived at my student accommodation since September. I had already signed a tenancy with them and had my guarantor do the paperwork for starting next year in August, going from my current room into my next room, considerably larger, straight away rather than moving out and moving back in. A recent tonic-clonic led to the ambulance being called at 3 a.m., but my student accommodation, the emergency services, do not have access to the building, and from 5 p.m. to 9:30, 5 a.m. Oh shit, that does say 5 p.m. to 9:30 a.m. That's a long closing time. Building does not have access from 5 p.m. to 9:30 a.m. There is nobody in reception to let them in. My friend, who was also my direct next door neighbor, was with me at the time of the seizure. I get auras, so I had called her. By sheer luck, our other friend was awake and answered a text asking him to wait outside for the ambulance because she couldn't leave me. After this ordeal, she emailed management on my behalf and with my permission, asked for reasonable adjustments, such as emergency services having access to the building, delivery services such as Royal Mail and Amazon have access, but emergencies do not. Updated PEEP plans. I was told I had one, but I have never been informed what it is, seen or signed one. And staff first aid training in her emails, she said also disclosed that I had 400 plus seizures since living here. I have lots of types of seizures and cluster seizures. I am a manager. I am the manager, replied. She's sending us to the higher ups. 4 days later, she pulls me into the office for a chat and tells me the receptionist is gonna come in. And then she tells me that she didn't know the extent of my episodes and she's so sorry, but someone above her was straight up and canceled my tenancy for 2025, 2026 because they can't ensure my safety without 24/7 staff or security, and they can't do that. No warning, no meeting, no questions about my disability. They wouldn't be able to name a seizure type if their life depended on it. And all I received was a recommendation for another accommodation that was way more expensive and wouldn't fit my instruments anyway. So it's not even a viable option. I obviously informed them that I have breached multiple sections of the Equality Act and that they will need to delist the room immediately so that I can appeal this. They delisted the room and paused the cancellation because I'm having legal advice, free legal advice, because I cannot afford a lawyer, but I didn't let that on and informed them I will pursue them to the fullest extent of the law, contact my university and contact the press, but I would like a meeting for mediation first. They agreed. So here we are from directly, better understand your experience and work together to find a constructive way forward. We want this to be a supportive and open conversation. If it would be helpful, you're welcome to bring a next of kin or another person for support. This only happens after sent the site manager an email and copied the execs of the company. I also told them it's absolutely unacceptable to assume I need 24/7 care when that is very much not the case. The meeting is with People and Culture Director, who is also Deputy Safeguarding Lead, alongside the Operations Director, who is also the Safeguarding Lead. I'm pretty much at my wit's end and have no clue what to do or what to even say to them in this meeting because I don't know what they truly want from me. And if they actually care about what they've done, I've told them they need to rescind their termination of my tenancy and just don't get why anyone would ever think this is an ethical or acceptable thing to do. I just want to get through it. And it would be my master's year, and without the accommodation, I will be homeless. Sometimes it's epilepsy, just keeps choosing more things to take from me. What can I do? Do I really have a realistic chance of rescinding the termination? Has anybody else had any discrimination like this before? Not turned down from a school because I didn't stay in a dorm, which would have been really convenient if I got a dorm and didn't have to get on the bus or stuff like that. But yeah, I think
that one's been through a lot already.
I think you should find a pro bono lawyer, see if that works, because you got something there. At least I think the person does. Yeah, they can't just take you out because we think you need more care than we can afford to give you.
Yeah, he's got a good case because he's already getting somewhere. He wrote those letters to the execs and something about the next level up, and they rescinded the apartment being available. Like they took it off to make it not listed. So now they know that he's looking into his rights and gonna make sure that they don't do something so unfair.
Yeah. That totally sucks. I'm gonna go to the next comment. It says, I mean, there's a lot going on here, and it's all sorts of levels of fucked up. Emergency services not being accessed 24 hours a day? Question mark. There are so many ways that can end poorly for any tenant, not just you. They may not be able to grasp epilepsy, but if their kid was living somewhere with emergency services cannot get in, I imagine they'd have a real issue with that. Yeah, I like that. They definitely would. Next comment says, how are there no emergency services allowed in? What if there's a fire due to electrical issues? What if another student displayed violent behavior? Best of luck, and that's ridiculous. He said this situation needs far more advocacy than just a bunch of like votes in Reddit. Is there another group you can post this? Not necessarily on Reddit, perhaps a community group. A group I was in once turned to Twitter and tagged the university and whatever other organizations that may be involved. Here I would tag the university, police, fire, ambulance services, city leaders, your lawyer, etc., etc. Turn to Bluesky as well, as a lot of government organizations are turfing Twitter. I personally would take someone with me. Surely you would be allowed that. Take your best friend or family member. Have you turned to the local epilepsy society and or disability organizations? I would definitely have a discussion with the leaders of each of the first responders about the building security. It's not like you live in China where authorities board up doors and provide no exits when one unfortunate thing is the pro bono lawyer. Some don't put much effort into it. I see this whole issue as a major problem, and advocacy of any kind from anyone is needed. The one thing that bothers me, the university students violated your privacy in addition to exaggerating what is going on with you. That was the last comment, and it was fairly long. Another one, hearing aura. Not exactly how to describe this, but sometimes seemingly randomly, I hear my hearing will almost go completely away in one ear for a couple of seconds, almost like stuck one side of my head underwater, but the other ear is completely fine. Anyone else experiencing this or something similar and have insight of it epilepsy related? Thank you for your advice. I get that time to time, but for some reason I'll get ringing in one ear and one ear will just go silent, or they'll both be ringing. And yeah. I wouldn't say that's a hearing aura for me, but yeah. You guys have hearing auras? There's someone who goes through it. In the comments, it says yes. I sort of get a similar hearing aura sensation. I wouldn't quite say it feels like I'm losing my hearing briefly, feeling like I'm underwater such, though I can hear your comparison, but almost like a high ringing, giddy sensation, a little bit like a bomb explosion shell shock sensation you ever hear in movies, though obviously not quite that dramatic. Like yourself, it is just one ear at a time and for a few seconds when this occurs, but I'm pretty sure it does occur in both ears, though obviously not at the same time as described above. The strength of them do vary. I often seem to notice them occurring when I'm busy, engaged in activity, including talking, or having a conversation, playing musical instruments like rear, surfing, swimming, playing video games, which is too odd, as my epilepsy is not photosensitive, and so forth. Though this never is a given, whenever I've described this to people, usually with family, people have simply dismissed it as being tinnitus, and I have often have done the same, but it just has gotten to be more simply tinnitus. I have attempted to make links as to whether it is a sign of a seizure, is on the way, or when it might happen, but I can never be certain. It is indeed strange. Don't worry. Another person said, yup, with a bunch of W's. I mean, bunch of U's. This happens to me, and I only recently also realized it could be seizure related. I don't know. I don't know though for sure. Does anyone suffer from seizures? It is most likely when they get stressed. I have always had seizures. It's most likely always when I'm sleeping and I get 0, 3 or 4 times a month. It's mostly when I get stressed and have strong emotions, and those seizures have transformed into strained seizures that put me in a psychogenic vertigo, and I remain unconscious all throughout. My eyes are always open, but then I don't remember anything. I say things that I don't even remember. Does anyone else have this experience? It would be understanding. It would help me understanding my illness more. Sometimes I'm afraid. I'm afraid all the time. You just gotta keep on a good face. Yeah, stress can be a factor. Go to a comment. It says the stress factor is a very common trigger for seizures. It happens to be mainly that for reason, just whereas myoclonus also increases in state of stress. Greetings. Yes, studies have shown that when stressed, epileptics get more or worse seizures. Also, on the flip side, nearly all natural remedies for seizures are herbs that chill out, and yoga and meditation are both shown with help with seizures. So all these arrows are really pointing to the fact that stress playing a sizable role in the frequency and severity of the seizures. It's a great way to put it. Oh, Brandon would answer this perfect. Anyone else develop epilepsy for some reason randomly as an adult? I developed epilepsy when I was 25 because I got shingles in my face and developed encephalitis, which then caused me to be diagnosed with epilepsy. It's really complicated my life and I'm struggling to adapt to it. Just wondered if anybody else had this experience. Not the encephalitis or the shingles, but actually, no, I didn't get it late in life. That was the main question. Anybody develop it late in life? No, I had it as an early teen or mid to late teens. Random reason? No. Run over by a car. Someone else said yes.
Yeah.
Say that again, Kate.
No, you're good. I was gonna read a post that somebody just put on Universe a couple minutes ago.
I was just gonna read this last comment. It says, yes, diagnosed in March and I'm 41 years old, male.
All right, so somebody says a few minutes ago, unknown trigger, 40-year-old male. So I had a brain resection and RNS implant and went almost 3 years without a seizure. But then they came back when I got in a toxic relationship, probably a lack of sleep and stress. Broke up with her 3 months ago, hadn't had a seizure since then, but had at least 3 in 3 days and can't figure out why. Triggers have always been alcohol, lack of sleep, and stress. I was well rested, 14 years sober, not stressed, and didn't miss any meds. I can't for the life of me figure out what might have caused them. Any guesses? Flashing lights and caffeine aren't triggers for you. I guess there's no way to narrow down triggers until you start taking notes and see what patterns
do some
you
journaling.
notice.
Do some journaling, know your signs, talk to your neuro, and try to avoid other triggers. Don't drink. Well, I'm not going to suggest what people do with their life, but I would suggest you do not drink. Doesn't go with the medication I heard. Wasn't a trigger for me, but to each his own. You got
Yeah, he
something
already
there,
said
Keith?
alcohol is one of his triggers.
Oh, okay. Yeah, don't drink. I won't grow out of it. What now? Since I was diagnosed at 12-ish, I was told by every nurse, doctor, specialist, and both parents that I would grow out of it, and that my epilepsy would go away before I was an adult. And I'm now 21, and at my worst recent appointment, 21 and at my worst. My most recent appointment, I was told I was told that this is permanent, and I will be on medication for the rest of my life. And it was nothing short of soul crushing. I hope the growing out of it has been the only thing keeping me going. What do I do now? How have y'all dealt with this? So yeah, I'm just rock with it. Just got to go with what ball has been thrown at you. Just gotta, like Jeff said, one step, one foot in front of the other. Can't cry about it because he's got many more years to live with it. Someone said, well, you can join the club of long life epileptics. Yeah, we live pretty long life, I heard. Someone said, I have changed my goal away from fix my epilepsy to deal with my epilepsy. You cannot get rid of it, so how can you handle it? I live in a place with good public transportation and medical facilities with great reputation. If someone gives you crap for having seizures or not driving, they are not going to even have a chance to be your friend. I go to therapy and have found yoga helps relax me. Now that I've been working on this for 25 years, it is hell of a journey. Your goal can't be to grow out of it, but can be to just keep going, keep growing, keep moving forward. Since I was diagnosed at 10, I know how hard it will be to accept that epilepsy isn't going anywhere, but it has not stopped me from living. I feel a seizure coming on, so I am able to drive. Oh, I can feel a seizure coming on, so I'm able to drive. I had a job before. I had a bunch of kids, by the way. I have 4 healthy kids. I'm considered living in spite of epilepsy. I avoid triggers, but other than that, I live life as anyone else would. I'm 32 now, and my seizures have been well controlled for 10 years. I've been seizure free for almost 3 years now, but meds are a must for me. Me too.
That one does sound successful though. Like they know what works and put it to good use.
This one will get you guys the answer, ladies, because you guys are kind of quiet. Treating
All right, Lufa, listen up.
Catamenial epilepsy and PCOS. Hey everyone, I have catamenial epilepsy along with PCOS, and I'm feeling pretty stuck trying to manage both. If anyone out there has any experience with this combination or knows someone who does, I really appreciate any insight on it. Right now, I am at 275 milligrams of Lamictal daily, and I asked my neurologist about birth control options for my PCOS as I was recently diagnosed. He mentioned that estrogen is a proconvulsant, which can trigger seizures, and instead of suggesting progesterone, since it's a natural hormone that also acts as a convulsant. I've done some reading about progesterone therapy, but I'm still unsure about how effective it is for treating catamenial epilepsy, especially when paired with PCOS. I haven't come across any people with this condition using it. So if you know anything, whether it's from personal experience, research, or clinical perspective, I'd be really grateful to hear from you.
All right, so reading up on PCOS right now, and it looks like PCOS has been found in a high percentage of women with epilepsy, and that's polycystic ovaries or polycystic ovary syndrome.
Yep.
Progesterone therapy. Oh, yeah, so progesterone therapy is a treatment option for women with epilepsy, especially those that's catamenial because it's, obviously a natural hormone. So they were saying in this one that they were just surprised the doctor didn't even bring it up or recommend it.
Yeah. That's what I took it as.
Yeah, it definitely sounds like something that they would, or that I would expect a reputable neurologist or epileptologist, whoever they're talking to bring it up. They are really quick to always go the pharmaceutical route instead of ever mentioning hormones. I don't think any of mine ever did. And that's a way better thing to use, from what I understand, than medications, especially when, you're still in childbearing years and all that.
Mm.
So I'm not surprised, but I'm glad this person is, or this girl is really doing her research and making sure that she brings up what she can to make sure that the doctor does actually tell her all her options. A lot of doctors don't. What do you think, Lufa?
Oh, my doctor kept talking about working out and eating healthy is the best thing for you, and I was like, "That's great, dude, but that's not gonna fix everything." So I really think it just does depend on like advocating the fuck out for yourself real hard and real bad. Cause I think that I have endometriosis of some form, and I don't want to get the surgery because I don't want to make it worse. So that means I can't get diagnosed with it. And I was also basically just told by my primary doctor that basically the only way I can get diagnosed with hormonal hypermobile EDS is if you're dying from it. So I just have to wait till I'm dying from it to get diagnosed with that. So it's basically just our care system. I forgot what the premise of the question is. I heard something about PCOS. I don't have that, but that sucks. That's tough.
It was
Yeah,
more
there's
about catamenial.
just asking how to manage it, treating it. First comment says you should talk to a catamenial epilepsy specialist. They also have GYNs who will help you work on everything together. Someone else says, I have PCOS and I'm taking lamotrigine too. I think your doctor is right. Estrogen is a proconvulsant and progesterone is an anticonvulsant. So taking the combined pill isn't a good idea. Also, the combined pill can decrease the amount of lamotrigine in your blood. So be careful with that. Progesterone is probably the best option. I manage my PCOS naturally as I don't like taking hormones. I don't have it completely under control though, unfortunately. Kids after injury leading to epilepsy. Anyone have kids that has been diagnosed with epilepsy due to an injury, for example, head trauma or brain trauma? Want to know the process? Want to know the thought process, as I am a bit on the fence, as I always am, unsure if to feel safe that my significant other would need to potentially take care of both a kid and me if a seizure happens. I'm assuming this person has epilepsy too.
Yeah, it sounds like it.
The freaking hiccups won't go away.
Drink some water. There was some stupid post earlier today. I read, why do people say it's so much more romantic or something to look into the eyes? And somebody posted, I do that so I don't look at her boobs.
It's a nice pair of knockers you got.
That reminds me of Hangover.
Store the other day, and I got this shirt like 2 years ago from the thrift store. No, from the thrift store for like $5. $5, and they're selling them back in, I think it's American Eagle or something, for like $38 or something.
Okay.
Bad boy, like 2 years ago. These
Nice.
won't go away. Ah.
Hold your breath.
It says, so anyone issues with taste after going into status? I've never went into status, but I'm going to read this anyway. It says, hey, recently I was induced in a coma after a week after going into status. As far as I know, my MRI was clear, having some issues getting in touch with my neurologist, but since then, I've not been able to taste anything that isn't sweet or fizzy drinks are a no-go. Has anyone had this or similar before? If so, did it go away? Thanks in advance. Do you guys have any tasting issues after seizures?
That's one way I can tell if it was a long one or, TC that's worse than usual because things just don't taste the same.
Is that what it means? Okay, because sometimes, like, after I have a seizure, things all taste just metallic-y for a really long time. They just taste like metal in my mouth.
Yeah, right? Like you're chewing on the
Yeah,
battery or something.
like no matter what I can do, I just can't. It's like an awful taste, and like even after all the other symptoms have gone away, that one just lingers, and everything just tastes bad for like the next 2 weeks. Like after my seizure, after we moved, everything tasted like metal and like oil and gas or whatever. I would guess that would taste bad, nasty. So I'm guessing that
It hangs around for like longer than your muscles are sore and all that. Everything else
yeah,
feels better first.
I'm guessing that seizure was a little longer than some of the other ones I've had.
There's a suggestion here that the insular cortex, a brain region crucial for taste perception, is frequently affected in temporal lobe seizures. And they're saying that's a possible cause of status. So yeah, I guess if it takes up the whole temporal lobe, then more likely to have taste issues.
Yeah. They've said that I mean, the thing with my seizures is there's so much not known about them because there's like no one there to oversee them when I have them. I'm working on getting a nanny cam, but I don't know, there's just like no one there to really see them or like, because I've definitely had a lot more than have been seen, and usually they last around 2 to 3 minutes, but they started like I would get them like every 5-6 months, and then I'd get them like every other month, every 2 months. So it was starting to get more frequent and more frequent as I kept getting older, which is eventually why I got the medication and everything because they couldn't control themselves. But I wonder if some of them have been a little longer because I do get left sometimes. Only like 3 times have I been left where, and that last time was the worst where my mouth was left feeling all like gross and metallic and nothing. It's just like I didn't even want to eat anything because everything just tasted like metal and like dimes. I had pennies in my mouth.
Somebody's saying yesterday sucked. Woke up, rolled over. Boyfriend told me I seized in my sleep. Get up, nausea, throw up, go back to bed, and just start uncontrolled weeping. This is a rant. She's saying, why is this my life? Next thing you know, I'm waking up on a gurney, going down the stairs, blink again, I'm in the ER. One more time, and I'm shivering to death on a gurney, probably from shock, since I apparently had 3 seizures at home and 1 in the ER. Then napped the day away. Didn't get to leave till this morning, so they kept that one overnight. Hopefully they accept my disability application this time. And she finishes it up by saying, how was your Monday? Better than mine?
That sounds like
The first comment is saying, how are y'all handling the bills? Oh, and she writes back saying Canadian.
Mm.
So in Canada, they're so quick to take somebody in who had a couple seizures and without question keep them overnight. And that's a Monday. That's a business day. They've got to have the right people on staff to actually know what tests to order and get this data on file. I mean, Lufa, you got to understand that, like, how much it can slow down your treatment when they just don't have proof of the seizures. Down here, it's like they need something on video or an EEG, like you to have as many seizures as possible on an EEG. Why does it take them so long to order it?
Well,
That's annoying.
so it's so weird. It took me having a seizure in the neurologist, walking out of the neurologist's office after they gave me an EEG that said that I was completely fine, for them to send me in for a full-on EEG, because the EEG that said that I was completely fine, he just didn't know how to read it. He just didn't understand what it was saying. He was like, it looks a little weird, but should be fine. And I walked out of there and I have a seizure in his office. And then I wake up in the fucking ER and they're like, yeah, you had a seizure walking out of the neurologist's office. So he ordered you a week-long EEG study. And I was like, yes, finally, you can see.
Timing is everything.
Yeah, and it's the fact that it wasn't even like I did anything wrong. It was just the fact that he didn't know how to read it. And when I asked the specialist, he was like, well, it takes that extra year of schooling to understand how to properly read the EEG and whatnot. And I was like, oh, that would have been nice to know like 8 years ago.
Yeah, we've seen that before when some medical student or somebody said they only get like one class that includes some information on reading EEGs, but then a lot of other medical students wrote back all offended and boo-hoo, but it's true. We've all had neurologists that definitely don't know as much about seizures as it seems they should. And epileptologists are too hard to find.
Well, and I'm glad I
A
live
lot of us.
like in Illinois where there's like a big city and I'm close. I'm like an hour, 2 hours away from Chicago. So they have all like the special treatment centers and shit down there. Actually, when I was getting my EEG study done, there were these construction workers working on a building, which is going to be the Children's Cancer Center, an extension of it. And they were fine as hell. I probably looked like some sick dying child because I was like pale and I looked like ET and I had all that shit wrapped around my head. And I'm like looking out the window, looking at them, and I'm over here thinking like they can't see me. And there they go waving at me, and I'm like, oh my god. You guys, hey, what's up? I didn't know y'all could see me. How do I look? I hope I look good. I'm of age. I'm of age if any of you blue collar workers want to come pay these bills over here.
Lufa, you are so great. Just know that you're such a great person.
Thanks.
Love the vibes and all that good stuff.
Please take your medication as prescribed or whatever works for you. We're not doctors.